AudioJungle.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Embody TV. It's an absolute pleasure to have with you today Rachel Marshall from Enchanted Eating.
Hello, Helen.
And welcome. And we today are going to be talking about the role of folate required for pre-pregnancy all the way through to pregnancy. Many times we hear that as soon as we're wanting to try and get pregnant, we are given a whole heap of supplements to try and get the folic acid in the body up at least 3 months before we are hoping to conceive. And we try and keep these supplements going throughout the length of preconception as well as right through into pregnancy and the postpartum period. But today I really wanted to bring Rachel here so we can share about the way that we can identify our natural foods in the way that our body naturally synthesizes and working with nature that's been grown from the ground up and not just only relying on pills and potions. Rachel is absolutely passionate about whole real food, so it's a pleasure to have her here today. And we're also going to be giving away a recipe and also about how you can work with Rachel about getting more information for yourself to help you through this time of your life. As you know, if you followed other episodes for myself, I'm a fertility and relationship specialist, and I work with lifestyle factors with women as well as couples in trying to increase your chance of fertility and be the parents that you truly wish to become. Rachel,
Yes,
absolute pleasure in having you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's chat. We've got a love of food. I love your culinary delights. I've been in retreats with you many times, and I've tasted my breakfast, my lunches, my dinners, my in-between meals have all been provided for. And I also know that in that time, the way that you cook and the way that you help us in the retreat space and those in your program is not just about feeding us, but actually supports a process. And that's the one thing that I really admire about you, that you actually facilitate the change that people are going through, not just throwing some food on a plate in front of them. So thank you for being our food educator today, talking about the role of folate.
Fantastic. Certainly, Helen. So folate, firstly, is the bioavailable form of our natural vitamin B9. The synthetic form of folate is actually referred to as folic acid. So what I'm going to be talking to you about is folate, which is our natural body's easy way of absorbing food, which comes from all of these gorgeous things that you see in front of you.
Yeah, fantastic.
And the role of folate is wide and varied, but we're talking about pregnancy. So particularly important, as we all know, our folate potentially works on us on a cellular level. So it's really important for regeneration of our cells and for our cells' natural growth and reproduction. This is particularly important during pregnancy and preconception because we really need to be 100% topped up with our folate so that our baby's developing brain, which happens very early on after conception, so that we avoid all of those issues like neuro issues with the baby's developing brain and
Spina bifida. And I loved what you were sharing before when we were chatting, Rachel, and that is a lot of times a woman won't find out that she's pregnant for a good few weeks to a couple of months, sometimes even 3 months. And by that stage, this primary development of the fetus has already occurred, which is why the recommendation is to start early to make sure that we are in a really good habit of having the folate levels high in the body for the mysterious part of the growth and development of the fetus that takes place.
Absolutely, Helen. Absolutely. The sooner the better.
And Rachel is a mother of 4 and amazing woman and dedicated mother and feeder of many. So she comes with a lot of wonderful, holistic, healthy experience and sharing with us for us today. So, Rachel, can you tell me how much folate is needed by a woman in the pre-pregnancy stage? And I know we're tapping on women, and I know that men need it as well for the role of sperm motility, and it's really important for them as well. But if we can just tap onto how much is needed for a woman daily, and also when she's also in her pregnancy phase and the postpartum phase.
Certainly, Helen. So the recommended dose if you go and see your doctor, he's going to say, I want you to have between 300 and 400 milligrams of folic acid a day. We can go anywhere up to 1,000 milligrams without harming the body in any way, but it's very, very difficult to reach that level just through eating ordinary natural food. So it's pretty impossible to overdose.
Great to know.
So we can eat as much healthy, live, amazing food as we want, knowing that we're hitting those marks that we need, but there's no danger of going over.
Okay, fantastic. So this is natural folate that we have in front of us, and Rachel has created a beautiful board and she will take us through the type of vegetables that are in the bandwidth of creating folate acid. And we've already talked about the folic acid that is available on the shelves. There's a lot of very, very different products. But today we're just going to leave those to the side, because what's beautiful about knowing how to eat in this way is that you're also getting a lot more other vitamins, minerals, trace elements, fiber, and goodness in your body than just taking this and then relying on a whole heap of other things as well to keep the nutrition of the body.
Absolutely.
Over to you, my friend.
Not only that, Helen, you're also setting yourself up for a lifetime of health, not just throughout your pregnancy, but also as a busy mum, which we all know takes a lot of energy, and we need to be at our absolute optimum in terms of health. And if we're eating well, we're also going to be passing on fantastic habits to our little people that we're raising. So it's winning all around. And you can't get that out of a bottle.
You cannot get that out of a bottle. You've heard it here first. So tell us, Rachel, and our viewers, how can we know to identify foods that are rich in folate acid?
Sure. The key factor, now this is something that you've probably heard and seen, folic acid, or folate rather, is very, very high in all leafy green vegetables. So whether it's your spinach, your kale, your silver beet, your chard, whatever, if it's leafy and it's green, then you know it's high in folate. You can't go wrong there.
Great. And what about some of our other sources that you've got here to show us today?
Sure, absolutely. So we've got a bit of a selection here. There are a few others that we don't have, but mostly, so anything that grows is going to have a level of folate in it. But we've chosen the ones specifically that are very high for the purposes of demonstrating to you. So we've got some gorgeous beetroot. I went to the farmer's market this weekend, Helen, which I highly recommend you all go to get your produce from. Comes straight from the farmers if you're really lucky. It comes with a little bit of extra dirt attached, and there's your B12. Bang, don't need to take a supplement for that. So we've got beetroot. We've got some cauliflower, which is a really fantastic source of folic acid. Avocado, also getting you really good fats in there as well, so there's a double whammy. We've got some corn, broccoli, broccolini, all these kind of cruciferous vegetables are also awesome, and they're also guarding us against, they're anti-cancerous. So if everything here is not just giving you the folic acid or the folate, it's also giving you, as you mentioned earlier, a whole host of other fantastic vitamins that you really want. So we've got our citrus fruits. So we've got oranges and lemons here, but you can also include into those cantaloupe, papaya, anything that falls into that citrus family.
Oh, so wonderful.
Bananas here. Bananas obviously aren't a citrus, but bananas are a fantastic source of folate, and if you're in that point where you're newly pregnant, you probably want your bananas for your iron and also for your elimination.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And we've also got some soaked beans and pulses here.
We do. So beans and pulses are a fantastic source of folate. They're also a fantastic source of a lot of other things, including iron, with the two probably things that you're wanting to be focusing on during preconception and conception. So yeah, there's some lovely beans that have been soaked in there. We've got some lentils in there, chickpeas, and then you've also got the canned variety for those who are busy and don't have the time to soak. Canned beans, still high.
And Rachel, can you tell me what the importance is of soaking legumes before cooking them?
Certainly. So soaking your legumes before you cook them, you're wanting to release the phytates that are present in the bean or the grain if you so or nuts if you're doing that as well, which is getting them to let go of the acidic parts. And tricking them into believing that they're in the ground. When they're in the ground, they're going to release more nutrients because they want to grow. And we want those nutrients in our bodies.
Brilliant.
Also, they make it a lot more digestible. So
fantastic.
Yeah. We won't go, but that's an entire another.
It's another segment. We'll invite Rachel back. Can you talk to me, again, can you talk to the viewers as well about how the body synthesizes folic acid to folate?
Sure. So the difference between folate and folic acid, and you've probably heard me use those words interchangeably, but folate is the natural bioavailable occurring nutrient that's in growing food. So this is what our body recognizes. Our body recognizes folate. Folic acid, on the other hand, is what's been produced in a scientific lab. So whilst it performs the job in the body the same way that folate does, it's not actually something that, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, our bodies would have recognized as folate. It actually is a synthetic vitamin.
Okay, great. So close to nature is best.
Always close to nature. The closer you can get, the better.
Great.
Babies come from nature after all.
Oh, they certainly do. So with that, and I know that there, in our modern society, we are time poor, and when we're not educated enough in what to eat and how to eat it, I'd love to be able to touch on many of the viewers have got office type environment or quite busy. So would you just be able to share an easy snack and what else we can actually introduce into our day or on the go to make sure that our folate levels stay high during the day?
Absolutely. So the first thing that I'd be doing, and we do have our little smoothie maker over here, is starting your day off with a smoothie. Fantastic way to really make sure that you're getting lots and lots of vitamins and minerals, but particularly that folate, which is the one that we're talking about and looking at in our pregnancy, and it's just so easy to really get yourself right up high in your scale for the day first thing. And it could be mid-morning, doesn't have to be first thing in the morning, it could even be lunch. But so if we always start with a banana. You can freeze your banana if you want it extra creamy. That's a fantastic tip there. I've got some strawberries in here. Some raspberries are also really high in folate. They're fantastic as well. A handful of spinach. And I recommend that we put some almond milk in with this guy. The reason being, you can use any milk and you can even use water, but I recommend the almond milk because you're getting a little bit of extra folate in the almond milk as well. So where every single ingredient is high in folate. Yeah. The other thing that I would also do is add in a couple of dates. Dates are a fantastic source of folate, but they're also going to give us the sweetness that we need with that spinach in there. And my other little tip is to go to the health food shop and get yourself some Brewers Yeast. Brewers Yeast is not only really high in folate, it's also high in B12, and that's a very difficult vitamin to hit from a natural food.
And the Brewers Yeast is okay to put into your smoothies?
You can pop some Brewers Yeast straight into your smoothies. Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
Magic ingredient.
Or on top of your Vegemite on a little bit of whole grain toast.
Ah, fantastic. And so, thank you, Rachel. Beautiful. Yeah. Now, you can access the recipe to this smoothie via contacting Rachel at enchantedeating.com.au. And Rachel, what's the best contact or email address that our viewers can find you on?
It's all on the website, Helen.
All on the website? Fantastic. So connect with Rachel and she will give you the recipe to the morning smoothie. and probably, as always, probably some other tidbits that are going to help you out. I know Rachel is all about personalised care and attention, so she's an amazing person to be in contact with and very giving and loving, as you can see in her information and her sharing. Mm-hmm. So Rachel, tell me about simple ways that people can introduce office nutrition or eating on the run, especially if they're driving around a lot.
Sure, absolutely. So what I've got on this plate here is some nuts and seeds are very high in folate, but particularly the sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds are the number one. And sunflower seeds are so incredibly versatile. So what I would suggest doing is, and this is a very quick thing, I know that busy people tend to think, oh, I don't have time for that. But this is one of those little things that if you do, it only takes a couple of minutes, chuck it in the fridge and you've got it for a week. You can make yourself a little pate out of sunflower seeds with a little bit of garlic, lemon juice and oil, and it's really, really a gorgeous thing. So you can pop some of this on a mountain bread wrap, fill it up with lots and lots of gorgeous greens, some grated carrots, we've got some carrots over here, some grated beetroot, some avocado, and if you really, really want to make it exceptionally folate, a little bit of hummus. Make yourself some hummus, buy some hummus. Chickpeas in there, get it all in there.
Stop it, you're making me hungry.
And there it is. If not, if you don't want to have it like that, you're at your desk and you know you're not going to be moving, cut yourself up some carrot sticks, some celery, another one really high in folate, with some dips, some sunflower seed dip, some hummus. My favourite, beetroot hummus. Again, we're not just getting a little bit of folate, we're taking it to that next level. Brilliant. So, some dates, and you've got yourself a snack plate that you can snack on at your computer or at your desk, for quite a few hours.
Great. Wonderful. And, or out by the park. Put your feet on the grass, get yourself some great sun and get some vitamin D into your body to continue processing and synthesizing happy hormonal system, good dose of sunlight, good dose of plant-based fats, as well as your nuts and your seeds will really start to boost your hormonal system and actually help optimize your fertility health, which turns into your fertility wealth. Wonderful. I want Rachel to say yes before we... can you please make that pate for me before you go today? I want to have the supply in my fridge. Which actually takes me... So did you hear that, everyone? That was a shore. It actually takes me to... As you were talking about the seeds and the nuts, Rachel, it took me on to the journey that I've been on over the last little while is trying to eat for my menstrual cycle health. I'm now entering my later 40s and soon I'm on the precipice of hormonal change. And as you know from part of my other videos and talking with me, I am a mother of 2 children, so I've managed to go through the fertility journey and work through the cycle of life. And when we're able to be educated as a woman throughout the cycles of our life, not only do we take care of ourselves, but we actually take care of the people in our lives and the ones that we love the most. And when Rachel was talking about the seeds, it reminded me that in the second phase of my cycle, from ovulation to when I'm ready to menstruate, I've been eating a tablespoon of sesame seeds and a tablespoon of sunflower seeds to try and keep my progesterone up. So I've actually got a notion of my hormonal health and my profile. So not only is what Rachel's sharing here for the fertility of trying to produce through folate, but also knowing that we're also working with our hormonal profile of our estrogen as well as our progesterone. And why I love working with Rachel so much is that when I run the Consciously Conceive Your Baby retreat, and the next one is coming up in June, Rachel is our food educator, but she's also our chef. Rachel has been a culinary chef of Whole Foods for a long, long time, and so we actually eat for fertility health and fertility wealth. We feel it in our bodies. And I'm so super excited that Rachel's going to be sharing on eating through the 4 phases of our menstrual health. So this is what we've got to look forward to as well. If you haven't heard of that before, please reach out. Please reach out to either of us so we can let you know what is possible. So Rachel, talk to me a little bit about taking care of the liver. So as we get older, and I know with our maternal age increasing, we're talking about synthetic substances that we put in our body and natural substances that we can put in our body. And I know that taking care of our liver is so important through this phase of our life as well. So I'd love for you to share your knowledge on that.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Helen. So our liver plays a very important part throughout our entire fertility cycle, particularly when we come into our menstrual phase, and it's our liver's job to start to get rid of that excess estrogen so that our progesterone can come up. And when our liver is overworked, so it could be there's a lot of factors in our lifestyle that cause this to happen. A lack of eating a lot of great foods is one of them. Excess alcohol consumption, smoking, a life of burning the candle at both ends. Those kinds of things really start to affect our liver. And of course, as we age, our liver is also aging, and so therefore the efficacy of our liver is starting to come back a little bit. So we really need to take care of our liver. And as women that are looking to take care of our fertility and eat all of these fantastic folate-rich foods, we're giving our liver a little break from taking it in a synthetic form. So every time we take in a synthetic vitamin or we take something synthetic into the body has to break it down and then excrete the excess, also the parts that we wouldn't have been able to eat in our ordinary everyday diet. So we're keeping that liver constantly working, and we really want to look after that liver so that it's not working overtime, so that it's available to do the job that we need it to do when we need it to do it.
And I'm sure that we could probably help ourselves out more with getting rest early enough in the night as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, let's touch on the contraceptive pill and how folate gets, what word would you use? Blocked?
Yeah.
Not processed properly while we're on the contraceptive pill.
Yeah, it actually is a little known fact that the contraceptive pill does block our ability to synthesize folate. So one of the big reasons why they as soon as you come off the pill, and if you're looking to get pregnant, is to start taking folic acid, because it's an assumption that if you've been on the pill for a long time, your folic acid levels are going to be low, because the pill has actually blocked that from being synthesized into your body. So there are a few factors that also will come in. The factors that are the same with the liver, so smoking, poor diet, these kinds of things will also block the body's ability to create and absorb folate. But the pill is the number one reason.
Yeah, thank you. Great. Because I know that the pill is used worldwide as being a preferred method of contraception, and so it does take a while for the body to go back into the natural flow and the hormonal flow. So this is why they say that on average you've got to give yourself a good year of trying with unprotected sex to try and fall pregnant, so the hormonal balance comes through, and sometimes that could take longer. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. So I really do feel like if a woman has come off the pill, to give herself that chance and know that her body's catching up to go back into that natural state of utilizing folate, which is why it's so important. I'm feeling for our viewers to also let them know today, Rachel, that when we're going from the pill, which is again a synthetic way of being in our body, to just taking folic acid, which is another synthetic way of working with our body, we're not giving our body the best optimum chance that it has in working in a natural way.
Absolutely.
So by knowing all this education here, because we need to eat anyway, just a matter of making our choices of what we eat and what we put in our body.
Absolutely, Helen.
Fantastic.
Spot on. And remembering that, increased folate is actually a gift that you're giving to your unborn child, because it really is the baby's health. And in those very, very crucial early moments before a woman often finds out that she's even pregnant, that the level of folate present in the mother's body is actually going to play a big part.
I love that, Rachel. I was going to ask Rachel what the take-home message for today is for all of us viewers and at home. And you're giving a gift to your baby straight up front before you even realise that you're pregnant, is that you're giving them a great natural folate source to actually optimise that development in their first home, which is right here, the very, very first home of our baby.
Yeah, you're building your nest. So you're gathering your twigs and you're building yourself a lovely welcoming nest for this new person to come and grow. And you really want your nest to be as vital and as life supporting as humanly possible. So eating these kinds of foods is giving that nest the cushiest feel.
Rachel, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you share with us today. I hope I know our viewers have walked away with lots of gems. What we read and don't read, you've brought it all beautifully in just one succinct little package, packed with goodness, packed with wisdom, and packed in a way that it actually empowers you as a woman and as a man to eat for your vitality and eat for your health. And I know that's what you are all about. So tell us again where we can find and get more of your wisdom and where we can connect with you more.
Jump on over to enchantedeating.com.au. Look forward to meeting you soon.
And look forward to meeting some of you and working with us at our retreat, which is coming up on the 6th of June 2018. Pop over at helenz.com into the events page, and we run the retreat, and I run the retreat every 3 months on average, and you get to live, breathe and be in your most optimum fertile self, and you take that home with so much wisdom and life-changing habits that you walk away with. Thank you so very much for joining us again this week, and look forward to sharing more with you next time.